Welcome to Music Plus Gamecast, home of original music and gaming discussion. Well, what we're going to be doing today is exploring if Returnal could actually be done on the PS4 because, apparently people believe it could. So let's begin. In this section, I would love to speak about the controls and how revolutionary this shit is. Adaptive triggers and haptic feedback is one of the most innovative things you can do with a controller. So you got to give props to Nintendo for incorporating the haptic feedback. But just like the analog sticks, Sony has went and took it a step further to make a beautiful experience with Returnal. The theme here is to actually help with the gameplay. So you are able to tell when your weapon is about to run out of bullets, when the charge is available, because you have like an alternate fire, and you can feel with the vibrations when it's about to be ready for use. There's little yellow things they call oblets. You can feel each one of those hit the controller. You can feel rain droplets. Really cool shit. There's a Matrix look-alike weapon where it shoots out lightning. Really gives a lot of punch. The haptic feedback is super strong on this. Now, the adaptive triggers allows for a more simple control scheme. It allows for more functionality with one button than instead of overcomplicating a situation. A half press is basically the primary, and a full press is your alternate, which you can feel with the haptic feedback when it's about to be ready for use. It just makes it a lot simpler and more intuitive, and it really is such an intuitive experience. Next, we are going to talk about the graphics, because that's a point of contention as well. There are a lot of people that think that, bam! I had to show that. That was pretty hot. That the graphics are just not next generation enough. All of the particle system is not just showing particles, but they actually interact with their environment. They bounce off things. There are a lot of fucking particles, as you can see. So every time you play the game, it's like you're fucking playing the 4th of July. It is insane. Smoke, you can see here. Just total visceral experiences here. I mean, just look at this dude. He gets tore the fuck up. Not only that, but the game has some sort of voxel engine as well. Things are destructible, as you can see here. Look at this. This was so fucking awesome. Real-time crumbling, like total badassery up the ass. So these things on the surface, it doesn't seem like Returnal is one of those games that are just like totally like, just next generation until you start playing the game. These particles, and you can see the leaves are actually, and I'll talk about that in a second, are actually affected by the wind. There's just a lot going on with this game. I mean, you could clearly see for yourself what's going on. And like I said before, the game has a voxel engine thing for the enemies. As you can see, the enemy just literally just crumpled up into little voxels, which you could play around in temporarily, which is pretty cool. So this game has foliage as well too. You can see the foliage system here. I just wanted to kind of take a stroll here. As you can see, it's pretty cool. Leaves are actually interactive. The raindrops are actually interactive. It's a lot of cool things that they have going on in this game. If you actually stop and smell the roses, you'll be able to see and be like, wow, this game is really some of its parts. Now, the game actually has ray tracing as well with the lighting, and as you can see the global illumination that's the bouncing of the red cave all over your character. That is not dust, that is not dirt, that is the lighting bouncing off in this cave. Pretty cool shit. Now we're going to talk about the SSD. I didn't even think about the loading. I didn't think about it at all. And then I had to think about the loading and realize that this definitely couldn't have happened with the PlayStation 4. You were instantly transferred into a different biome just like that. What you just saw with that white screen, instantly. You see that little outside there? Just like Ratchet and Clank. You just walk in there and you're instantly in somewhere else in the level. Then you have this situation where you are thrown from where you are at and then placed right here, just bam, just like that. The loading times are basically non-existent. It's non-existent. You may get maybe a second, and just imagine Imagine if this was on PS4. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima was an anomaly of sorts, but even that has some sort of loading times. But imagine you get teleported all around the fucking level just like that. That right just there, that looked like some Ratchet and Clank shit. So yes, this game has crazy fucking loading that helps out with the gameplay and helps out with the rogue-like experience and reloading, Returnal basically. Now I'm going to talk about the game type. I know that this is supposed to be if it's possible in PS4, but I wanted to kind of throw this in here. This is kind of like a gameplay video. Now, what I had in terms of notes is the type of game that this is like gambling. It's honestly like gambling. It's gambling, but instead of money, it is with your time. I didn't understand how that was going to actually work until I realized that either you explore, and the more you explore, the better your character gets, the more pickups you get. But that also puts you at risk for you can lose it all by getting too greedy. Or, well, if you're playing a boss and you get all this shit, you can die and lose it all anyway. So there's a lot of risk reward. They'll also have like a situation where you have like these parasites which will allow for a buff and debuff at the same time. And you can get rid of the debuff so long as you can basically meet certain conditions, or you could pay for it to be removed with the yellow currency that they have in the game. In order for you to get yellow currency, you have to risk your life to get it by killing the enemies. So most of the time. So there's so much meta that's in there, but the game it has a very addictive game loop. It's extremely addicting because it's like gambling. You can basically beat the game without, gambling as much, but you have to be very skilled for it. If you don't want that situation, if you don't want to have the game basically, be so hard, then you're going to have to spend some time, and time is like money in this game. And if you die, well, you wasted a whole bunch of fucking time. So when you do play this game, make sure you have a good 3-4 hours to kind of explore and just to get used to the game and just to get a feel and experiment.